Elsewhere in Major League Soccer, Olivier Giroud officially official. He was announced on Tuesday. We got our first look at the handsome Frenchman in black and gold. He's going to have a designated player deal through 2025 with an option through 2026 that already been reported. At LAFC, he will be reunited with Hugo Lloris, his former teammate with the French national squad, which got us thinking, Herc, who might the next French superstar to MLS be? Of course, Antoine Griezmann has been heavily linked over the years. In fact, 3 years ago on this show, Sam Marsden said it was a guarantee that Griezmann would be in MLS before his career was over. So where would you like to see Antoine if indeed he does come stateside?
Did you see the handsome forward? You take away that beard, he's you, basically.
Then he's a really good-looking guy, let's be frank. Different physique.
Okay, I know the reports he's been heavily linked to Inter Miami, but how much stock can you really put into that? It seems like everybody's linked with Inter Miami. The player himself has said that he wants to go to Major League Soccer, called it a dream of his to go to Major League Soccer. Can you believe this? The all-time leading goal scorer for the French national team is already in Major League Soccer, and the all-time leading goal scorer in the Euros for the French national, or just the Euros in general, I should say, potentially will be in Major League Soccer. That just blows my mind. If I had to pick a place, because I'm not just picking a place to pick a place because I like the team. I'm picking a place where I think this could realistically happen. And you got to go by market when it comes to these type of players. And I cannot think of another market besides Los Angeles. If it's not Inter Miami, if it's not Miami, that market, I don't see it happening. I know there could be some other markets that are big markets, but somewhere that fits Antoine. And what I mean by that is the glitz, the glamour. What I mean by that is him being happy and him working for that market and that team on and off the field. I'm going with the LA Galaxy. And this is why I'm going with the LA Galaxy. The LA Galaxy are doing something interesting. They're changing the model per se on the field. They've gone younger, they've gone faster. You want a guy who's going to contribute, and I can think of fewer players who contribute than one of the leading goal scorers in La Liga. A player you can put in multiple positions from the 8 to the 6 on up top, will get goals and assists for you, and will do very well for marketing and the splash. Listen, you've already got Joseph Painsil, you've got Gabriel Peck, you've got Ricky Puig, you've got Gaston Brugman, you've got Marky Delgado. It's a good core of players. I know they could use some more help defensively, but they're health away from being a little bit more solid defensively. You need the splash because it's the LA Galaxy. When's the last time you've made a splash? It was Chicharito Hernandez. The Galaxy are known for one thing: pushing the envelope. Bringing a player of this caliber into the LA market, yep, I'll buy that.
You love it. You love it with your Galaxy ways. Look, no surprise you went West Coast. I think LA is an obvious fit. I think actually he's been linked to the Galaxy specifically. So I don't doubt that there. I'm going to go East Coast, though. I'm going to go New York City FC. I'm kind of looking at it from a different perspective. I'm not so Griezmann focused as league focused, right? We talk about it all the time. You need your big markets to be functioning, right? And I think in LA we could say between the Galaxy and the rivalry they have with LAFC and what LAFC has become, that market's looking pretty good. Inter Miami, that's a market you don't need to worry about for another few years. New York is a market that is not only super important, but super downtrodden right now for Major League Soccer. So I'm going New York City FC because you know they got the funds for it. They're going to have a stadium. So from a club perspective, if you're going to have a build-up, a lead-in into a new stadium, having this guy be a part of it could be huge. And also for Griezmann, he's a big NBA guy, right? That's his big thing. Him and Carlos Vela, they love the NBA. I know you got 2 NBA teams out there in LA, Herc, but the Mecca, if he's a true basketball head, the Mecca is MSG. So I don't think he'd be missing out too much from an NBA perspective in New York City. The big question to me here would be when, Herc, because it would kind of surprise me if he came before the 2026 World Cup. I really could probably see this after that World Cup, but before would be not just a shock, but for either of these two teams or anybody else in MLS that could pull it off would be a major coup, because this guy's still right now a highly productive player at the highest level.
He's a ridiculous player at the highest levels. And I repeat, you can play him anywhere from the 6th position, double 6 on, like we saw France do it at the World Cup. He's a highly intelligent footballer, capable of facilitating, creating, finishing plays off, free kicks, whatever the case may be. He is your man. And he just plays into the role. There are footballers who don't want that limelight. There are footballers who just want to play football. This is a footballer who's going to do very well doing what Major League Soccer needs him to do on the field and off the field. It just makes a ton of sense.
Antoine Griezmann. Herc says the LA Galaxy. I say New York City FC, but I think if it does happen, you might have to wait a few more years. 38 years old for a defender. Is that the right signing, in your opinion, for an expansion team?
So he'll be 39 around the time the season starts. His birthday's in March. And listen, it's very easy to sit here and say 39-year-old center back, aging center back who's far past the best years in his career, or he once was, heading into Major League Soccer, a physical league, the travel, et cetera, disaster. It's going to be a formula for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. I don't know. Think about this for a second. If we know something about San Diego is they love using the LAFC model. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Forget about him leaving Real Madrid in the first couple of years at PSG where they were injury-ridden. Since then, the guy in the last 2 seasons has been physically fit, has been playing. Sans the red cards because that comes with Sergio Ramos, those type of moments. But when he plays, when he's on the field and healthy, look at those numbers. We're not making those numbers up. That's not in the Eredivisie. That's not in Portugal. That is not in Belgium. That is in La Liga, those numbers. Clearly has something left in the tank. Now, the LAFC model, what am I talking about? They did this with Giorgio Chiellini. Giorgio Chiellini comes in at the right price, aging superstar, and not only is he do very well for them on the field, but he grooms the next generation. He's a leader in the locker room, and he does it at a reduced salary because it's California, because it's Southern Cal. This could be a home run move for San Diego at the right price. And things may change in Major League Soccer. We're talking 3 DPs right now, and it's the only reason you may even scoff at this. I'm not scoffing at his age. I'm not scoffing at who he is because there is value to who he is today as a footballer, as a person, and as a superstar in this league. At the right price, this guy in San Diego makes a ton of sense.
You keep saying at the right price. Let's say there's only 3 DPs next year. I mean, that's kind of the bigger issue here, right? Is if Sergio Ramos wants what he thinks he's worth, he might ask for designated player money. We don't really see too many designated players contracts going to defenders. Would you do that?
Are the other 2 DPs an aging goalkeeper and an aging midfielder? Because that would change things for me.
Right.
That would change a lot of things for me. This is circumstantial. These are things you got to figure out on the field. They're puzzles that you can make them fit. If you're asking me off pure talent, standalone presence, if I would sign him as a DP, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the off-field alone, right? Like, this dude's a Real Madrid legend, and I know a lot of the players linked to San Diego are Mexican national team stars, and we think, you know, the Mexican national team is a huge brand. Let's not get ourselves, let's not fool ourselves. Real Madrid is a big brand. A lot of people care about the Mexican national team, but almost everybody that cares about soccer cares about Real Madrid. So off the field, this guy would be a huge signing in San Diego. He would just be massive for them. And I think any on-field doubts, Herc, you pass on because, one, the numbers we just showed. Dude started 34 games at 38 years old across all competitions. Didn't play in 34, started 34 games as a defender. So you know that he's playing a lot. And then if you think about it, like, yeah, maybe Sevilla didn't get a lot better, but this is a guy who...
They got a lot better.
No, they didn't. They're 12th. No. They were 12th last season.
No, hold on. No. I'm talking about this season.
They've given up the same amount of goals.
Listen to what I'm talking about. He was injured at the beginning of the season for a few games, and they were struggling. Mm-hmm. When he got going, this team got better, and they went from relegation to mid-table. What I'm telling you is they got better.
Okay. I think the leadership for me also is a valuable thing, because when we talk expansion, the worry here is like, oh, you got a 38-year-old, he's going to break down. You also need to, and I'm not a guy who's been in the locker room, you might fight me on this, you need to establish a culture. And if there's a guy who's going to like set a bar and not be very willing to be forgiving on it, it's going to be Sergio Ramos, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the Chiellini formula. You're setting a culture. You don't have history. So maybe you're not going to get that culture immediately. It's going to take some time. What better way to establish it with guys who are about culture, who are about history, who are about results and holding each other accountable? Sergio Ramos is one of the, I can make an argument, best players in Spanish football history. That's how good of a player he is, how important he's been, both national team and Real Madrid. And you're getting him at what I think for Major League Soccer is still a very good level of Sergio Ramos.
All right, so Sergio Ramos is 38. Kevin De Bruyne's 32. Different calculation here, Herc. How realistic do you think it is that we might see the Belgium here with San Diego FC?
Man, if there's one thing that I've noticed when watching Man City, when watching stars, superstars play with Pep Guardiola, is how just emotionally draining it must be to play for that man. Just the consistency that you have to have playing for that man. The amount of games that you play. This guy's probably used to playing 65, if not 70 games a season at Man City. At that level, that emotional and physical and mental exhaustion that you must have to play there, it seems to me that he's ready for something different. The last 3 seasons, he's had a big injury, a time-consuming injury, off the field for a while type of moment, where I think he's ready for something less pressure, less physical exertion, a different lifestyle. And what you're getting in a player like Kevin De Bruyne, you're getting one of the world's most special talents today, a generational talent, one of the best players of his time. And it's still a very good age, 32 years of age. This is a must sign if you're San Diego. If it's in your realm of possibility, you do what it takes, because maybe not in name. He won't rival Messi in name, nowhere close. But on field in Major League Soccer, he's going to rival Messi.
Yeah, a healthy Kevin De Bruyne dominates Major League Soccer. Goals, assists, you name it. Absolutely. To me, I don't think he's opening day of 2025, because San Diego would have to go out and really buy him, right? And then probably loan him back to City. I know they had $500 million for their expansion fee, but that seems ambitious. In the summer of 2025, when he's coming over on a free, I think that sounds a little bit more realistic. Actually, my bigger red flag from an injury perspective would be on De Bruyne compared to Sergio Ramos. He's always picking up muscular injuries. We talk about MLS being a drain on these European guys, Herc. I might really do an evaluation on where this guy's at physically before I signed him, because MLS, man, it's not an easy league on the body. It might be easy for these guys on the field, but his body has broken down a bit over the years.
Yeah, he's playing close to 70 games. He's not going to play that in Major League Soccer. Don't worry about that.
All right. He's going to be flying just as much. Let's see. Kevin De Bruyne could be the first star for San Diego FC when they kick off in 2025.